everyone. This is Pastor Sean, and I'm coming to you live from Death Church Radio podcast, and the Sean C. Stuckey Show on Facebook. What's going on, everybody? How is everybody doing? Yes, I stole that from Bill Burr's intro. So I would like to report that from last Wednesday, I'm actually not as sick as I once was. But I feel pretty strange right now. I feel pretty weird. I feel pretty stressed because even though I laid in bed for about 10 hours, I didn't really get that much sleep. I don't know why I keep trying to force that. I'm pretty sure it's a learned condition, like something that I learned from my parents about, well, you have to go to sleep at this time if you want to have a good day and things like that. But I would much rather just, be one of those guys where I would sleep 5 hours straight without waking up once and then have a great day, as opposed to having like 8 to 9 to 10 hours of sleep and then I just don't feel good and I just feel sickly and I just feel exhausted and my face is still burning, just not as bad as it did last night because my girlfriend gave me lotion to put on my face because of my hands, because where we're living from Arizona, it's really, really dry all the time here. So anyways, and this is actually, I believe, maybe the first time this ever happened. You think by the age of 31 this happened before, but I was thinking of Proactive, like that stuff, the acne cream. That's what used to burn my face when I was in high school. But anyways, so I had an allergic reaction to whatever it is that she gave me. I don't know which one it was, which lotion was lavender with a bunch of other things in it. But anyways, my face turned basically like pomegranate red, like almost blood red last night. So this is the first time I actually had a bad allergic reaction to something that wasn't just pollen and plants, because those are the only things I'm allergic to, or certain plants and trees, like just pollen. I am sort of allergic to dogs, but not really. Just it's just like a mild reaction. But yeah, I had a pretty bad reaction last night and I could not stay asleep. Internally, I was very nervous and I didn't know what to do other than just take my girlfriend's advice of just lay down and it's just going to go away, because I wanted to look up the symptoms. I self-diagnose a lot, and anyways, so yeah, yesterday just in general, yesterday just was not a good day. But hey, it's just, we're not supposed to be living in lives. We're not supposed to have lives where everything is just supposed to be happy and go lucky. And you're always supposed to strike the lottery every day. It's not how life works. You're going to have bad days and whatnot. But now that I live in a new place, you'd think that, I don't know, I guess I'm still trying to ride the magic train in a way. I'm still trying to go along with the magic. And, for the most part, it's still working. I'm a romantic kind of person. I'm a romantic kind of guy. Excuse me. That's why I just personally believe in. I personally believe in things that are, of magistry and fun, and life is like a play kind of thing. That's why, trying to keep everything in perspective, but at the same time trying to be like a doughy-headed person in a way of, well, I want this still to be magical, and I want it to be kind of like, I don't know, like a Disney-esque kind of fairy tale. That's how I like to live my life, and because I never get to live that way. I'm working on a novel right now, guys, and I I just finished page 10. I'm on chapter 5, and it's going to be 275 pages, and I'm going to write 5 pages a day until it's done, being that right now I'm still waiting to see if I'm going to get unemployment checks or not. But we do have the money for bills for the entire month of April, so we're actually okay for the next 5 weeks. So anyways, even if I don't get the unemployment, I have time to go find a job. So even though, apparently from what my brother was telling me, the job market is booming right now because of the COVID-19 virus. I mean, I've just kind of become the person become the person the old Sean would have been mad at. He would have, threatened to get in a fight with. So, it's just, it's a little bit odd, but being that I watch the news so much, but I mean, it's free, it's free cable, it's free TV. So, I mean, it's something that, me and my girlfriend do on a nightly basis is we watch the news for a couple hours, and I just feel like in a sense that I've kind of turned into my parents, being that I'm so, just kind of falling in line with things, the medical assistant Neil, I was talking to him yesterday, and he was telling me and my brother about how he's learning in his social psych class. Or it could be that or something else. I'm not exactly sure which one it was. One of those classes that there's just these acts that you do on a daily basis that you don't even realize you're doing, but you do them a lot. It's kind of like you're in like a robot mode. Oh, I do this and this. It's this time, so I do this. I set my alarm for this. I eat this at this time. It's like these things you just learn to do, and you just do them without. And a lot of the time, you're just doing things, and you don't realize you're doing it. You're just going through the flow. And, I've noticed that, since it's not just because I moved into a different place. I'm just saying, I think that's just my nature. That's the genetics that my parents have. And I would assume that's just with most people, where most people just want to be boring. They want to do basic things. They like being predictable. I don't like that, because I feel like I've always had this notion, I guess, in the back of my head, that I'm wasting my life. I always feel that, even when the fact that the book right now, the novel I'm writing, is going very well. It is going surprisingly well right now, and there is actually a really good chance I'm going to find out today that I'm getting unemployment so I can keep writing and apply for the jobs that I want to apply to, as opposed to just going to another job I'm going to hate being at. So, they're going to be putting me on it for a year, but it said altogether, this thing I read from the governor of the state, that it's going to be altogether 3 years if you can't find a job, as long as you show proof. Because I've been on this before, guys. I was on it for about 2 weeks back in, this was back maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So, anyways, yeah, it's just learned conditions. And this is something that I feel has always been a problem with me, because I do the same things. I just copy, a lot of the time I just copy what my parents do. I copy their behaviors. I copy what, I try not to copy how they think. I try not to actually copy anybody from anything. I try not to, but you kind of just naturally fall into line for, whatever reason. I mean, I guess that's just life, but I mean, it's just kind of hitting me right now. Maybe it's because of the lack of sleep or whatnot, but it's that watching the news and kind of just doing the same things. I've never liked, I don't know, it's just liking life has been very difficult for me to do. I've always, I've always tap danced on the fringe of society kind of thing, but when it comes to things that are like real, when things get real, that's when I guess slink away from those situations. So I kind of just shooting myself in the foot. Yeah, I mean, it's just, and this whole virus outbreak has made things worse because we can't go out and do things. That's, we can go out and do things, but it's just like in the form of, sorry, I gotta blow my nose again. I'm sorry, guys. I'm still sick. Like, not as sick as I was. After taking 1.5 Benadryls last night after my face broke out, I remember waking up at like 1 in the morning, and I was able to breathe fine. But it's just, there's so much pollen here, and anytime anything goes into bloom, which is literally every part of the year, I'm just sick all the time. I'm always sick. So, anyways, yesterday was just, it was okay. Like, yesterday was not, it wasn't really too bad. I mean, it's not compared to like my job that I had in the medical field. It's not that bad. It's just, it wasn't even the worst day of the days of since I moved. It's been a week and a half so far. So so it's it's not that bad. I just need to, I don't know, I just need to go back to meditating, and I really, really want to go back to doing yoga, because I feel that even though it was very difficult, especially the hot box yoga, even though it was very hard, it worked really well. I felt great the next day. So, like, yoga is something, I would suggest that everybody should do. I want to do it like maybe 3 to 4 days a week, like how we go to the gym, but we haven't been able to go to the gym. We're supposed to practice social distancing and like all these different things, because from what Dr. Wright said, that it's God's judgment on the world. Right now we're going through God's judgment in the world right now with having this virus be spread all over the globe of this coronavirus. So COVID-19, whatever it is, it's literally all they talk about nonstop on the news, and it's just what every time I click on any kind of podcast or whatever, it's just about the virus. Like, anyways, so to me, I'm done. I've been done for I've been done for almost a week now. I don't want to do this anymore. I would rather just everything just open back up and just go back to how things were. If this is the symbol of things to come, we are definitely in the long haul here, people. We are going to be in the long haul when it comes to, the book of Revelation. If we are the ones to be set back with everybody else, talking to everybody else about the Great Commission and the tribulation period, because this is already starting to drive me nuts. I'm actually going to be leaving. I'm going to drive to the other side of the state in 2 days to go hang out with my family, my crew. So I am, when doing laundry, I had realized that I am getting a bit stir crazy. This is starting to really, I'm trying to keep a positive attitude and just count my blessings kind of thing. And I haven't been reading the Bible as much as I should be. I've been reading through that book, like I told you guys last week, and then I'm trying to read this new book called Roots that I found, but it's a little too, so put it like this, it's a little too childish for me, where it feels like a high school group kind of thing, as to the daily challenges, quote unquote. But me and my girlfriend are going to be doing that tonight. We're going to be we're going to read the Bible together.
Okay, so let's go ahead and go to part 2.
Okay, everybody, I'm back for part 2 of the show. And I just got a message from a pastor from India about the COVID-19 virus, even though I just said we weren't going to talk about that on today's show anymore. I can't escape it, and I feel I should read this out loud. I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, because about 3 weeks ago I did get a message from someone, I believe in Africa, I think, or Nigeria. I got it from somewhere, and maybe Kenya, of this woman sent one of those messages that you're supposed to send to a whole bunch of people, where the woman said that she told me to pass it on, and that in order to get rid of the COVID-19 flu, or it's actually SARS, is that you are supposed to be drinking water every 15 minutes, because once it slides into your stomach, the stomach acid will burn it to death, and that you will no longer be contagious or affected. So when speaking to the chief nurse and a scrub tech about that, after I read it, they both said that that didn't make any sense, and that's not how viruses and bacteria works. So, but let's go ahead and see what this person has to say on the subject from Pastor Sahanta. So, breaking news from CNN, he starts, Dr. Lee Wei-Lang. And also, with these messages, if it's breaking news, but you're getting it in the form of a share message that you're supposed to share with a bunch of other people throughout the internet, like Facebook. You don't really know if it's from CNN or Fox News or something like that. Anyways, so Dr. Wei-Lang, or Wen-Lang, China's hero doctor who was punished for telling the truth about the coronavirus and later died due to the same disease, had documented case files for research purposes and had in the case files proposed a cure that would significantly decrease the impact of the COVID-19 virus on the human body. The chemical methylaxine, theobromine, and theophylline stimulate compounds that can ward off these viruses in the human with at least an average immune system. What's more shocking is that these complex words that were so difficult for people in China to understand is actually called tea in India. Yes, our regular tea has all the chemicals already in it. Tea is in the stimulant caffeine. Other methylaxetines found in tea are two chemically similar compounds, theobromine and theophylline. The tea plant creates these chemicals as a way to ward off insects and other animals. Who would have known that all this solution to these viruses could be a simple cup of tea? Tea is in caps locks. And this is the reason so many patients in China are being cured. The hospital staff in China has started serving tea to the patients 3 times a day, and the effect is finally in Wuhan, the center of the pandemic. It has been contained and the community transmission has almost stopped. Please share this message about drinking tea from your kitchen. So, don't know if that's correct or not. I'm going to go ahead and say it's not. I'm not a doctor. Even though I've worked in the medical field for about 2.5 years, I was just an OR assistant / anesthesia technician / janitor, basically, housekeeping. I actually never went to school for these things, but the thing about it is yes, it's going to make you feel a little bit better, but if you are deeply infected with this virus where it's all over your body, I'm going to go ahead and say tea is not going to cure you. I do believe that the Word of God, if someone lays hands on you to heal you, and it is of God's will for you to get healed spiritually, yes, I believe that can work. I've seen it, I've done it. But this kind of just sounds like the same thing that is talked about when it came to that message I got 3 weeks ago I was telling you guys about Well, if you drink water every 15 minutes, it washes into the stomach and the stomach kills it. So when I asked the chief nurse about this, he said technically that's true because the stomach acid has the same validity and power as battery acid. So yes, your stomach acid in its purest form can dissolve steel and metals, but there's a whole lot of other chemicals that are in your stomach acid, and that's why it doesn't completely, I guess, burn through you. I mean, don't, guys, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just giving you my opinion on what I think the answer is. So don't, just take this with a grain of salt, please. But, like, I'm not a doctor, but I do have a feeling that drinking tea to stop a virus or a bacteria, I mean, wouldn't it just make sense at the same time if you just ate like the Yoplait yogurt stuff, the Olay yogurt, because that's filled with good bacteria that your gut needs, because that's why yogurt tastes the way it tastes, is because there's so much bacteria in it. You're just eating bacteria, basically. So wouldn't that just combat against the stuff in your stomach, and then it would go into your bloodstream? Like, it's just, guys, just wait for the vaccine, please. Here's the thing. You can only do what the only thing that makes sense, the only two things that make sense, and then we're going to get off the subject, is you can just take, okay? You can take precautions, like the 5, whatever that thing is, they keep talking about on the news. Don't touch your face, always wash your hands. That's pretty much that, and spiritual healing. And also to boost up your immune system by taking Centrum pills and things like that, which, by the way, I need to take. But anyways, so guys, things like that. So let's just go ahead and leave it at that. I mean, you can drink tea if you want, but it's not going to cure you. Please just go see a person who is of the faith, or go to church or something, and go to the prayer room, or go up to one of the pastors and say, hey, I'm nervous because I'm exhibiting symptoms of this virus, or even anything really. Can you lay your hands on me? Like, please, if you want, put gloves on first, or the pastor or whoever, the deacon or whoever, puts gloves on first, then lays hands on you, and then prays for your healing. And then God will either answer it or deny it. So that's how this works. Drinking tea is not going to cure the problem. Who knows exactly why we're being told in the mainstream media why people are now... The virus has pretty much ended with, being contacted from person to person, even though there's what are called sleeper cells, which is a person who doesn't have any symptoms, going around giving the virus to other people because they don't even realize they're sick themselves. Like, dude, there's so much that goes into this, guys. Tea is not going to fix this. Drink it anyways. Go ahead and just drink it if you want. Every 15, 20 minutes, go ahead and do that, but don't have the expectation you're going to get healed from it. So, anyways, so that's what's been going on. It is necessary for me and my girlfriend to read the Bible tonight, I believe. I think we should go through the book of Colossians tonight. So last week, I believe it was last Tuesday or Wednesday, or maybe even Thursday. No, it was last Wednesday. We went over the book of, what was it? We went over the book of, not Galatians, I think it was Ephesians, something like that. We went over one of those books where we sat and read the entire thing, and together. We read the entire letter together with 2 different Bibles, and then we both felt convicted of different things, and then we both prayed together, and then I led us in prayer for God to heal us, and that was like the best sleep I've gotten in the last week and a half. I just felt so, like there was just no sense of evil or anger or just, I felt a sense of self-worth. I wasn't beating myself up. Just things like that. Like, it just felt good. It just, I just felt completely, I don't know, like in tune with God, I would say. I just felt completely, I don't know, I just felt completely like content and at peace, and I usually do when I like read, like I usually do if I read like through something through the New Testament. Like if I read through something, especially one of the letters that's mostly just preached at churches and whatnot, that's, most churches just only go through the letters or go through the Gospels. Like if you really think about it, or if they do the topical preaching, they'll just go through some like a quote from Jeremiah or something about, oh, you have a vision and a future and a hope, right? So anyways, but it is very, very beneficial, and you can keep reading those over and over again. I wanted, like I was telling you guys, I wanted to go through the entire book of First Chronicles, but it's been a bit difficult to do that. So it's been a bit difficult because of the fact that there have been so it's just basically just going through the lineage of the time of families, like the generation of families on there. I'm not really sure when reading through all that what the point of the story is. So when it comes to Westerners, and I would actually say most people, we are garnered towards stories that we can see ourselves in, or something that can be applied to us. And I think that's just how most humans are just centered when it comes to learning. We have to be able to relate to it. I'm thinking that's why I personally, I'll put it like this. It's like what Jordan Peterson said with, like Disney movies that are, not PC cancel culture propaganda like the Frozen films. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about movies like Mulan or The Lion King, Toy Story, but like Pinocchio, Dr. Jordan Peterson talks about Pinocchio a lot. I've talked about that I did a whole episode on that about a year or so ago. But anyways, so the whole, that's why it's just people are very garnered, and it's kind of like an all IQ encompassing kind of thing when it comes to stories. Like everybody loves stories, but also everybody wants to be able to see themselves in the hero or anti-hero of whatever it is they're reading or what they're watching. Sports is a great example. Pro wrestling is probably the best example because they make stars in, it's physical combat, like you're watching MMA, like mixed martial arts or just martial arts. But it's very, well, not nowadays, but it used to be very popular, and you would be able to connect with the person that you're watching on TV, like they are the hero or anti-hero. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin, perfect example. Well, I can relate to that guy always beating up his boss, Vince McMahon, right? This was going on in the late 90s, early 2000s. So mostly like 96 to 2000. So that's, that's what people like to see. It's very, like, even just to sit around a bonfire and just sit and trade stories and just tell stories. Like, it's just, I think that's why the New Testament is taught from much, much more than the Old Testament is, even though we need to know what these things are. All of Scripture is God-breathed. God breathed into all 66 books. It's just, but it's literally feels like it's pulling, that saying, it's like pulling teeth. When trying to get through the book of 1st and 2nd Chronicles, just to, understand these things, it's, it can prove to be very difficult to sit through that because you're already fighting off boredom and just the fact that you don't want to, just that feeling like, man, I really just don't want to do this right now. I'd rather just go do something else, So, it's just, a lot of the Old Testament is not applicable to Christians nowadays, unfortunately. Even though I personally don't believe that, but that's like every church. That's like every church service online or in person.
Okay, now going to part 3.
Okay, I'm back for part 3. Just driving around earlier, I tried to feed the snake after I went to the Petco. I don't know why it took 15 minutes to get there and back. I was driving for over a half hour. I don't know why it took so long to get to the closest Petco to me. Beats me. Beats me, guys. I guess it's just that even going on the highway is still kind of a pain, but I was able to go there. I wanted to record this part in the car while driving. I remember that the woman that was there working at the place, she was just staring at me as she was walking away from the cashier's desk when I went to go buy the baby frozen mice for the snake because the snake hasn't eaten, I believe, about 3 or 4 weeks, even though the snakes can actually go about 8 months without eating. The snake wasn't hungry, by the way, guys. When I put it in the box, it was a whole ordeal. This seriously took almost an hour just to get the snake out of the cage, and then the snake didn't want to eat. I kept putting it on the baby mouse. It wouldn't eat it, so we're going to try again tomorrow. That's okay, no big deal. So, anyways, the woman was just staring at me as she was walking away from the cashier like, dude, I'm next in line. Are you going to take my order? So, and then the other woman was also kind of just standing there, the one who helped me find the mice, and her register wasn't open even though she was standing there. So, I don't know. And then what happened is that the woman then waved for me to come over, but she was like doing it in a way where she was like annoyed with me. So I said, okay, and then I just walked over. And, do you have your club card for Petco? Like, I always hate it when people ask me that. Like, literally anywhere I shop, that you have to have a card. Like, it's so dumb. Anyway, so I got out of there, and I don't know. At one point, I almost got into a car accident because the guy was in the middle of the street. You think by getting out of the city that I was living in, going into this new one, the traffic would have been better, but I mean, it is sort of better, but it's kind of the same at the same time. I'm still waiting on the mail here. Anyways, I was going to be going through the book of, what is it? N.T. Wright's book, but I'm actually going to be using that for a different episode. The day the revolution began, reconsidering the meaning of Jesus' crucifixion. So, yeah, I would rather just do this kind of show today. But anyways, I actually recorded a psychology show, with medical assistant Neil, but we recorded a 40-minute podcast about different things on different philosophy subjects, and none of it recorded. So, yeah, that's just what I have to deal with by using this phone. Hopefully, today I will find out if I got approved or denied for unemployment insurance, unemployment checks, and then we can go get new phones, and I can quit using this piece of junk. So, anyways, I've been now here, living here 2 weeks, and it feels really good to be able to do this and to get through, and to, even though I'm leaving in 2 days to go back, driving across the state, going back on Friday, probably Friday night, I'm going to go buy 2 CDs. So hopefully I get to know whether I'm going to have money or not today. I'm actually, after recording this, I'm going to check the website to see if I got approved or not. So, anyways, I don't want to complain too much about that. And I didn't want to talk about the coronavirus either too much. But yesterday we were cleaning up and organizing and whatnot, remodeling the bathroom and different things like that, just normal things, I guess. Do normal, acting normally, like I was talking about at the part of the show, at the beginning of the show, I mean. So, very convoluted thoughts right now. I'm very tired, and I'm going to down this whole cup of coffee, or at least try to, and then so I can get back to work, because I also wanted to leave to go to the hardware store to go buy some caulk and a scalpel, so I can fix up the parts of the bottom of the bathroom, things like that. So, anyways, being that, and also still being kind of sick, I washed my hands thoroughly after handling the snake and the dead mouse. So, anyways, we were listening to a thing by R.C. Sproul yesterday about something about the rock, that Peter was the rock, and that Jesus was referring to the rock as the church, and then bring into himself that the rock is supposed to point to Jesus, something like that. I'm not exactly sure what he was talking about. I was organizing the bedroom, so I don't want to do this. God, my thoughts are so convoluted. So, yeah. I've already done the master plan of evangelism. This book I'm looking at. Oh man, I'm tired. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and down the coffee now. So that's what you guys are going to listen to right now. I'm now struggling with thoughts. I mean, it would actually make a lot of sense if someone, like a doctor, gave me a test and I found out I had low T levels. That would actually make a lot of sense. So, okay, bottoms up. It's in my big cup of coffee my friend made me for Christmas. So bottoms up to you and yours. And I'm going to talk in about a minute because it's going to take me a second to chug this. Do my deep breathing. Okay. All right, guys, give me 1 minute. Oh yeah, it wasn't 1 minute, it's more than 20 seconds. It also doesn't help that I was eating a whole bunch of leftovers. I ate like 2 plates worth for breakfast and lunch. So I got my hearty meals in today. Boy howdy, I'll tell you that. And I'm doing the dishes too. Okay, give me another 30 seconds. Then we'll continue. What is this? Okay, I just got a message from someone named Betty saying hackers are now going into sex Facebook accounts. They spread pornographic and sex videos using your name and send them to your Facebook friends without you knowing about it. Yeah, I was already aware about that. Someone already hacked my profile. I don't know if I talked about that on last week's show, but somebody, I think I know who it is. It's an old friend from California. I won't be releasing his name. He is of Fijian ascent, even though this is just my opinion. I don't have any concrete evidence as to that it's that person. I'll just say they're from Fiji, and because that person randomly sent me a message on a different account. No, it was on my YouTube account where I put up these Christian videos, and all of a sudden, the very next day, someone makes a parody account of me and starts sending friend requests to about 10 people I know personally. So I'm pretty sure it's that person. That person has been known to do things like that. He was shady in high school. He's shady now, even though it's been over 10 years since I graduated high school. It's much longer than that, but it was almost 15 years ago. Anyways, people don't change, ladies and gentlemen. R.C. Sproul, like he died. Anyway, so that person is I have not been that person's friend since 2010. So it's 2020. That should tell you something. I know who it is. Anyways, my account got hacked. So He didn't get hacked. Someone made a parody account. It was I had to tell people, that I work with nurses and doctors that were this person was sending friend requests to on my friends list. No, that's a doppelganger. So that's not me. I reported that person. I sent them a message saying, what are you doing? And both me and my friends reported it to Facebook, whatever that thing is, the corporate, or I don't know, human resources, whatever that thing is called. Anyways, let's continue reading this message, see what's going on here. So Betty says, you can't see it, but others can. So if you receive such videos under my name, it wasn't me. Please pass this message to all of your Facebook friends to safeguard your good name and be careful. I got a message from you, or it's shown on your wall here. Please tell all the contacts in your message list not to accept friend requests from Andrea Wilson. She is a hacker and has a system connected to your Facebook account. If one of your contacts accepts it, it will also be hacked. So make sure that all your friends know that. Thanks for it as received. Hold your finger down. Yeah, I'm not. This is real. I'm not doing that. So, anyways, I don't spread. The only thing I wanted to spread, but it's the date passed when I wrote it on the calendar, is when I wanted to make like an artwork, but it's like in the form of like a sticker or something, like a big sticker. It's like, oh, pray against abortion day, something like that. So that was actually yesterday. So world prayer, pray against the spirit of abortion for 10 minutes. And I was going to send it to like 5,000 people, like all my friends on my Facebook list from all around the world, and tell them, okay, spread that to somebody else. And then we're all going to pray, because that's what somebody did when I told you guys last week about the coronavirus. But after listening to Dr. James White's video from Monday, because as you guys know, I listen to the Dividing Line, the whole episode every Monday, usually every Monday morning. So here's the thing. He said it's God's judgment on the world. It's a bit strange to me that God would do that. It is biblical, though, and that God is spreading, like he said 9/11 was a judgment from God because he didn't protect us. So the coronavirus that's worldwide at this point, it's now at the point of, I think they said it was 200,000 people have so far been infected, supposedly. I mean, who knows? I mean, the highest rate is like Italy or something with deaths. But that's people with compromised immune systems. Excuse me, sorry. Had a big meal, got gas. Anyways, so, yeah, it's not really, it's like malaria for rich people in the middle class. We'll put it like that. Like malaria spread. I was talking about this last week. Malaria just spread. You know, it kills like over 1 million people a year, but no one talks about, like, it's just, I got food poisoning at work from catering. Nobody cared, like last year, no one cared about that. They didn't shut down because I got food poisoning. Like, you know, just, I don't know. It's just people freaking out, like it's dumb. But anyways, so I'm living in a new city, right? You know, I do miss my old crew a little bit. I am. Like, me and my girlfriend were discussing this yesterday and the day before, that we're both getting a bit, well, not so much her, but more me. I'm getting more stir crazy. It's becoming more, it's becoming more difficult to tolerate the fact that people are still being hysterical, and that, you know, things are open, like I was saying at the beginning of the podcast, like things are open, but they're like not at the same time. A lot of things are just open for the fact of, like, you need food or groceries or something, like, you know, nothing fun is open. We can't go buy tickets because she wants to go see a hockey game and a baseball game, and I would love to go do that, but we can't buy tickets to it. So without the tickets, can't get in. No show, can't get in. You know, I can't watch XFL on the weekends, even though I'm a casual sports fan. Anyways. So it's not that big of a deal, but you guys understand. You guys get what I'm saying here. Like, it's just like boring. Like, things are just getting, I mean, I'm like in a really good mood though. Like I'm still in a great mood. Yesterday wasn't so good, but like I said, it's just, it's not going to be all happy-go-lucky all the time. So that's the point I was trying to make.
And last part 4.
Okay, guys, this is the 4th part of the show. Thank you for sticking in there. And if you don't know what's going on in my life right now, I have just filed for unemployment. This is actually the 3rd time I've been on unemployment. So hooray for me. And in this time, I've been actually writing a novel. I just finished page 10 last night. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be writing out 5 pages a day. And so this is what's, going on in my life right now. This is, I'm going to be very picky with the jobs that I want to do, because what I would love to do, as opposed to working at a call center or another medical center, God forbid if I work at a hospital, I pray that God would help me in finding a job in a monastery or a church or a library. Those are the places I want to work at. I don't care to do anything else. I mean, I saw a billboard when I was driving back from the bank yesterday on the other side of, the bad side of town, when I went to go basically do a change of address. And that reminds me, I have to go to the DMV to do that change of address too. So as I'm doing that, thankfully I can get paid now, so that's good. So go to DMV to do change of address. It's not just going to be my good looks, guys. I can't be living off that. This is the 3rd time in my life, I'm 31, that I've applied for unemployment. I actually was on unemployment for about a year and a half back in California in 2006, 2007, something like that. So, anyways, yeah, but anyways, to get back to it, so, that's what's been, that's what's been going on in my life right now. I'm going to be reading a little bit, once again, out of this book, and I know I did read out of it last time, but this is going to be the last 15 minutes of the show, that we're going to go through The Day the Revolution Began by N.T. Wright, and then next week I will be going either from a philosophy, psychology, or theology topic, if not for a book. Even though I have a whole lot of books to work with here. I mean, maybe even go through the book I've been, casually reading with my girlfriend, Madness and Civilization, The History of Insanity and the Age of Reason by Michel Foucault. I call him Michael Foucault. They actually went over one of his books a year ago on this channel. But anyways, so let's go ahead and turn to a random part, and then we will go off of there, and I'm just going to treat this as if it's, college lecture kind of thing. So let's start this lecture for the last part of the show. We're going to start with chapter 5 in all the scriptures. Okay? So we have seen how the New Testament writers claim that through the death of Jesus, the original human vocation has been reestablished, so that redeemed humans are now seen as the royal priesthood, or a kingdom of priests. When the early Christians say this kind of thing, they are not only retrieving the inner meaning of Genesis 1 and 2, claiming that the original project of creation is now at last back on track, they are also retrieving from one specific point of view the vocations of Israel. Quote unquote, from Exodus chapter 19 verses 4 through 6. You have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I bore you on eagle's wings, and brought you to myself. Now therefore, if you obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be my treasured possession out of all the peoples. Indeed, the whole earth is mine. But you shall be for me a priestly kingdom and a holy nation. So this vocation generates the remarkable vision found in various sections of also the book of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 60 verse 1 through 3 quotes, "It is too light a thing that you should be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore the survivors of Israel. I will give you as a light to the nations, that my salvation may reach to the ends of the earth. Kings shall see and stand up. Princes, and they shall prostrate themselves because of Yahweh, who is faithful, the Holy One of Israel, who has chosen you. That was actually Isaiah 49, verses 6 through 7. So arise and shine. What it says in the next part here. So this is the one of chapter 60, verse 1 through 3. So arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of Yahweh has risen upon you. Anyways, the light of Yahweh has risen upon you. From darkness shall cover the earth, and thick darkness the peoples, but Yahweh will rise upon you, and his glory will appear over you. Nations shall come to your light, and kings of the brightness of your dawn. End quote. So passages like these, though striking, do not stand alone. They are telltale signs of a much deeper set of themes. And this set of themes, sometimes awakened by reference to these passages, are central to what the New Testament says about Jesus' death and its effects. If you read quickly through Israel's scriptures, what Christians came to call the Old Covenant, or the Old Testament, you will discover that, contrary to some popular suppositions, they tell a single great story. But the story is strangely inconclusive. It seems to be pointing toward, but not finding, an appropriate ending. The Hebrew Bible is arranged so that the books of the Chronicles come last. In the traditions that shape most modern translations, including English Bibles, Chronicles comes after Kings. And the collection ends with the prophets, the last of which is Malachi. But whether it's Chronicles or Malachi, a quick read-through leaves us straining forward, wondering what's going to happen next. Okay? So I actually didn't know that when it comes to the book of 1st and 2nd Chronicles, which is what I'm actually... You know what? I think it would just be good for me to just go over that for Sunday's video. Even though technically I haven't uploaded the video yet. This one's going to be the one for last Sunday, so let's just go ahead and do that, being that I haven't uploaded anything yet. But so this is actually going to be this last Sunday's video. Yeah, I didn't know that about 1st and 2nd Chronicles, that they were supposed to be the last of that Bible. I mean, it does make sense. Even though I'm going to be going through 1st Chronicles, it does make sense that it would that would be the case. Okay, because it is just going through everything of basically the entire history of all the families, the brothers and sisters, and then all throughout the generations. Okay, so but that one's next on my personal list. So anyways, so actually you get the same effect if you read quickly through the Pentateuch, Pentateuch, the 5 books which stand at the head of Israel's scriptures. Deuteronomy, the first of the 5 books, does not include with happily ever after version of the future, but rather with a challenging prospect. I'm assuming with the 1st and 2nd Chronicles it means the end of the Old Testament. Okay, so anyways, a mixture of warning and hope. So yet, the great opening sequence of the Bible, the creation of the heavens and the earth and the man and woman, okay, the call of Abraham, the slavery in Egypt, and the subsequent Exodus, the journey into the land of promise. All this seems to indicate that ancient Israel, at least in the view of those who compiled and edited the scriptures, are playing... What was that? Oh, it's a cat. Feed you in a second, buddy. Anyways, who compiled and edited the scriptures, was playing a critical role in the great drama. The drama of the Creator himself and his creation. But the drama wasn't over yet. At the end of Deuteronomy, Israel is warned about rebellion, exile, and death. And at the end of Chronicles, by the way, this is page 91, the exile was still continuing. Hold on, I'll feed the cat. What are you doing, buddy? Where are you going? Hold on just a second, I gotta... Come on, buddy. All right, you want some treats? You want some treats? There we go. Okay, continuing. All right. So, one cannot imagine Shakespeare playing this trick, working his way through the stage, or stages of a plot, and then stopping in the middle without trying the narrative strands together, or weaving the narrative strands together and reaching a resolution, okay? So I'm going to read the last page here, meaning that we only have some time left, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. So Israel and Adam, okay? In particular, the scriptures tell the story of how Israel went into exile. In a sense, the whole story is about little else. The larger story, in which there is a single great exile in Babylon, is shot through at point after point with other exiles, which led the eye up to the eventual one. Abraham goes down into Egypt and nearly gets into deep trouble. So does his son Isaac. And Isaac's younger son Jacob, escaping his brother's anger, runs away and stays in the land of his ancestors 14 years before returning to the territory God had promised to Abraham. And Jacob's family goes into Egypt to escape the famine, and the Israelites remain there for 4 centuries, ending up as slaves. Before the dramatic events, Passover and Exodus, through which they are set free and led at last to their promised land. So I am going to go ahead and stop there. But I just want you guys to get a taste of what I've been studying, what I've been reading. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I've been reading, I read the first book called Roots, or Rooted, but it came off as a bit like childish. And I mean, the only thing really on my mind lately, other than studying this book, basically cleaning and whatnot. I've been cleaning a lot and waiting for the unemployment benefits, so we got to go to Kinko's tonight after my girlfriend gets off of work so I can send another fax. So after that, and going through a different book, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for what's going on this week from the last recording last week. I mean, really, I think maybe I should have just talked a little bit more about the coronavirus, because this does transfer itself into total depravity, and I'm going to be going over that on one of my videos at some point. Basically just taking cliff notes from Dr. James White and R.C. Sproul, but because it has to do with we are no longer in the age of reason, and the